Hi.
Okay, we're here. Alright, hey, welcome to the podcast that drinks and knows. We're talking about Season 2, Episode 4 of House of the Dragon, the Red Dragon and Gold. First aired on, today is 7/14 of 2024. I'm Ben. I'm drinking a Brick River Cider Co. Autumn Spice beer. I've had these for about 7 months now.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised they're selling those already.
Nope, they're not. These were deep in the back of the garage fridge, and I was like, "Oh, I haven't announced one of those on stream yet." I've had them for the last couple weeks. They've always been the secondary beers. So, all right, with me as always, Bailey.
Howdy, howdy! I am drinking a Bluewood Brewing Blueberry Hop Tart.
Ooh. Sounds yummy, Luke.
Same thing. I'm drinking the same thing from Bluewood Brewing here in St. Louis, Missouri.
Actually, I think I have had that at Chillax.
I will say that it would be available at Chillax.
Yes,
that would make sense.
I'm pretty sure I've had that one. It's very good. Glenn, what you got?
I am drinking a Busch beer, brewed in the USA.
A real Ross Chastainman over there.
All right, and Abby is somewhere on her
route.
way, en route,
In transit.
Across the narrow sea.
across the narrow river. All right, so this show and all of our shows at podcastthat.com are produced with the love and support of our wonderful Imaginary Legion patrons. Learn more about our reward tiers at patreon.com/stayimaginary. So, this episode was 56 minutes long. It first aired last week on 7/7/24. Was directed by Alan Taylor. And Ryan Condal was the writer. Glenn, what was the episode description of this week's?
In Rhaenyra's absence, with no word from Daemon at Harrenhal, Rhaenys tries to keep the peace on the Black Council as Cole mounts a campaign into the Crown Lands. In King's Landing, Aemon continues to undermine Aegon's fragile hold on authority.
Alright, and
Previously on. Daemon stays away. The battle at the Burning Mill happens. Rhaenys provides counsel. Critical Cole talks strategy. Daemon claims Harrenhal. Sir Gawain volunteers to accompany Cole in battle. Baela chases Cole's clan into the woods. Club Sandwich is named Master of Whispers. Corlys thanks Alan. Aegon laughs at Aemon. Rhaenyra and Alicent face off. Harrenhal claims Daemon.
Any thoughts on these, or like?
I feel like we should do the previously on before the description.
So let's go back to the description. Do you have any thoughts on the description on?
I mean, we'll see if those things happen, I suppose, as we're talking here. There's a lot of Aemon and Daemon going on, it sounds like, from what they're talking about.
All right.
True, yeah.
So, start off the show, credits, watch through them, can't tell if there's anything new.
I don't think so.
I would say it's just, there's a lot going on in the way that they have it, and I like it. It's kind of, you really have to be looking, like almost watching what they did the week before, like a side-by-side overlay.
Well, I don't remember from Game of Thrones, but first time I really watched it this season, the opening credit just trying to tell, but I don't like how they do like triple names on the screen. Game of Thrones always gave every actor, or at least
they would do groups.
Like, for
Like the secondary,
All the kids were always in groups.
like the B list.
yeah, I mean, and I guess most of the show is
Once you
B-list,
get kind of past the first 4-ish,
Yeah.
3 to 4, maybe 5,
I guess
it went always to groups.
Okay,
Especially for like the kids.
okay, fair enough. I always thought that each one kind of got like it might have been a faster flash, but it was everybody got their own standout.
It varied throughout the seasons a bit too.
And
Who was
like
a lot
how
of
primary in the episode you were and all that. So
Yep.
that's fair. All right, so we start off this show with Harrenhal.
Damon aims to control his dream. Simon says, "Wake up, Damon." Damon meets with future Lord Paramount of the Riverlands.
So I'll start this off real quick. This is again going to the after show thing or the House of the Dragons built. This was the very first shot of the season that was shot.
Mm-hmm.
So like that, they brought Million for this one and the one from last week, and it's like, yep, like did those 2 scenes. All right, see ya. Maybe more. I don't know if there's more going to be coming, but
I'm hoping there's more.
But yeah, so that was kind of it for that. Luke, what you think?
Yeah, I mean, I stick it on Millie Alcock, young Rhaenyra. She gets her head cut off in this kind of vision, which is interesting. Just of the fact it seems like Damon's like Glenn wrote down. Damon aims to control his dream. He's trying to kind of get a grips over what he can control and convince himself that that's not real by,
Right.
cutting it off at the
And
root.
then they call his bluff, and then she starts talking
Mhm.
Yeah.
with her head on the
My
ground.
head
Right.
just talks.
Yeah, it's just interesting how he's dealing with what's going on in his head, around his head. It's
Trying to maintain his sanity however he can.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely stuff there that, he might not say, like, hey, I want the throne or anything, but I think he's definitely butthurt about this. And, maybe deep down he wants it.
This is almost like we're seeing him go through therapy in a way. Like, these are like the deep-seated things for him a bit being thrown in his face, which I think is very intentional. If someone else, whether it's Alice Rivers or somebody else is trying to magically influence him or in whatever way,
Yeah.
It's interesting that they're making him kind of like forcing him to self-reflect in a way.
You can kind of say he has his own demon.
Damon.
Dealing with demons.
Damons. She's a Damon.
She's a tongue.
All right. Next part of that, going to talk to the future Paramount of the Riverlands, Bailey.
It's so stupid to send someone that will not do anything. It's not that he can't. He's just choosing not to. That's not how we do it.
He
where
is a
I'm from.
typical Tully.
Yes, but like Damon has no time for this. He's like, okay, well, get me someone who can make a decision.
Exactly.
And I think we've talked about this offline, but it's Oscar Tully, and then the head honcho is Grover Tully,
Yes.
and so
And
it's
then there's the Grouch.
Damn it.
there's just basically like Muppet characters or Sesame Street
I
characters.
believe so. Oscar's dad, who died when he was young, I believe his name was Kermit. I'm not kidding.
I
know there is a Kermit. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's exactly that in between. If it is a straight
Gotcha.
line like that,
Yeah.
I know there's one in there.
I thought there was like an Elmo as well.
Ooh, it could be Elmo. It's one of them. I could be wrong. It could be.
I thought there was like 4.
Is one of the phrase Waldorf?
I'm sure our lovely chat, which thank you for being here. I'm sure they'll give us the whole list of Muppet Tully names.
Right.
But it's definitely a little Easter egg he threw in there. It's funny that we're actually getting it in the show a little
Nice,
bit. That George threw into the history.
I didn't like that was one I glanced over, didn't catch when it came through, so that's neat. Alright. Anybody got anything else with those? I mean, it wasn't an unfair ask of Damon to be like, hey, can we get your support? Can we do this? Well, I can't.
Then why are you?
Why are you
why'd you
here?
even bother?
Yeah, and I really love how Damon follows it up with that of like, well, I see why the Brackens and Blackwoods aren't giving a fuck about these guys. Like, they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't respect them either. Like, it was kind of a pretty good backhanded slap of just like, why are you here? You're worthless right now.
Yeah. Alright. Driftmark.
All right, we got Rainey's meets with Alan Corliss. Poe is gonna go nuts.
Bailey.
Get ready for a dire poet.
So, Rhaenys knows about Alan, clearly, and wants him to get credit for his heroism. regardless of whatever her personal feelings are, and I think that's really admirable of her.
Yeah, I do agree, and like my note was, see, going back to the worthless Tullys, that's how you acknowledge a bastard. You know, you don't have to acknowledge them, you don't have to like say, oh, I love you and all this, but you know what? Hey.
At least let him
Just-
get his due
Just
credit.
touch his face a little bit. And
Get the credit, you know, and everything like that. It's, you know, it goes a long way, you know, so, but no, I did like that scene, and, you know, Abby was correct, or well, it still hasn't officially been said that that's who he is, but, yeah.
Very heavily
Very
implied.
heavily implied. Yeah,
As
so...
someone who's read it, I can't confirm
Yeah.
or deny that that's exactly who it could be.
See, I do like that they're
Confirm
not...
it.
His brother both.
But I do like that they're not playing up the original thought, like, because originally he was Lenore's son.
Right.
You know, Lenore and the other one, Adam,
Alan and Adam.
yeah, were bastard sons of Lenore and everything, and then it came out after Lenore died that other ways. But I like they're kind of just over skipping that part, because that's just a whole other...
It's a bunch of
headache.
intrigue that you kind of don't need to bring back up, because then you have to waste time on your previously on, like,
Yeah.
oh, who the hell is Lenore? Like, people forget almost at this point.
Yeah.
Like, did we even bring it up? Let's just, at least at this point, let's just keep doing this alluding
right,
to
he's
it.
on abandoned plot lines, right?
Yeah, let's just minimize a thing.
Well, his actual plotline finished up. It was
Right.
done.
Yeah,
like, it's not abandoned.
It's not like we're bringing him up because we need him anymore.
Yeah.
Like, so just get right to
Yeah.
what it's believed to be the truth.
Glenn, thoughts?
Yeah, like, so she basically meets Alan for the first time, and he calls her my lady or whatever, and she's like, oh, if we're talking formalities, and, you know, it's princess, and like, I don't know, they do this like every episode, and it's even in the Game of Thrones series, it happens all the time where somebody doesn't say your grace or something like that.
Hung up on titles.
Yeah.
I'd rather in title.
Titles.
I don't know.
Oh, go ahead.
It's not a big deal, but it's just
No, I get like
it's
'cause
redundant a little bit.
I gave Damon shit last week for doing the same thing, you know, for doing the king thing. But Rhaenys at least does have that technical. She's a princess, and you know, she's putting him. It was that quick way to put him in his place, and just to, even though she's acknowledging or being nice to him, she's still making that little bit of, you know,
Yeah, you're still less than a
It
peon
always
to me.
feels
Yeah.
so petty.
It's very petty. Don't mind us.
Hi.
Abby is here.
Just moving
We
in.
found.
hey,
Hot off the road. Oh yeah.
We were just talking about Driftmark.
yeah, the second scene, Driftmark with Rhaenys and.
Have we talked
Corlys.
about how good the casting director does there? That's like my not only note. There's a lot of things. I kind of heard you guys while I was upstairs. You've hit all the marks, but they did all the drift marks, but they did a very, very good job, I think, casting his son, because it is so believable. Like, you can see what she's seeing in him. That's like, that is a version. Let me silence my notifications.
You're gonna get expelled from the exam.
Hey, you know. But yeah, casting director, good job.
Luke.
You know, I thought it was interesting that she basically, because she's talking to Corlys as well, right?
Mhm.
And she's saying, you know, I'm leaving because Bela called me back to Dragonstone. And
Need one of these?
in general, I like that Rhaenys has so much like political savvy and sway that like she's a big like
Yeah.
she's a good thing to have on your team, and like she clearly offers a lot of not even just Melee's the dragon, right, which is super useful, but like just her own the respect that she has is awesome to see.
Yeah. Alright, so on to King's Landing.
All right, Alicent DoorDashes a special elixir from the Grand Maester.
Go ahead, Glenn.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the scene, she's kind of holding a figurine of a dragon.
Mhm.
She drops it and it breaks.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just seems like basically what happens in the episode. It's like a voodoo doll, maybe.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit of foreshadowing potentially.
Yeah.
It's like when we started dropping our little wolf sculptures that we bought at Ice and Fire Con all those years ago. They all Glenn's ear broke. Abby's foot broke. I had an ear that broke. Benji's head fell off.
Was that before or after my leg surgery? I really need to know.
Because you both still have ears, and Benji's still got a head, so...
Super glue's a hell of a drug.
T-Rex tape.
But
It's
I
for
did notice
roaches.
that too about the dragon. Like, it's definitely we see stuff like that here and there where it's like, hey, this is representative.
Yeah,
of
I mean,
something.
I think I'm looking for that every time now. It's like, does this mean something, or is it just some throwaway thing or whatever?
I also heard, I haven't looked through the notes, that figure that she drops is the one that she either gives or was given to her by Viserys. That it's the same one from season 1.
Could be.
Not sure.
Probably if she has it.
From the realm,
Right, likely.
it is that. I don't know if...
I mean, I would.
I haven't double checked it, but... Alright. Oh my, we might be wearing sunglasses inside.
Future's so bright.
Hey, that's me.
Get a little choked out there. Okay.
Andy, okay? You
Yeah,
want to
no,
talk
the air,
about
the
it?
air
The air
freshener.
freshener.
It's like pumping and like every time it
Right
breathes,
in
it's like.
Benji's face.
That's how we feel sitting by you, friend.
Right.
Payback's a bitch.
He's on us being on stage with our fog machine Benji.
Right. Hey, yeah, that's fine. All right. No, I know. Okay, Bailey, what you got for this scene?
Bottoms up, no child Coles here.
Yeah.
Who would want that man's child?
Nobody.
I mean, the consensus
Rhaenyra
is
did the same thing last year. She was like, "Fuck this shit."
not
Me,
today.
dog.
That's not over.
Yeah, I get it. Where her whole thing of, well, I'll make sure the girl gets it. And I'll be keeping it close. Shut the fuck up. Everybody knows. It's like the Macer's not dumb.
You're not fooling anyone.
No.
Yeah, but it's that plausible, like,
I know.
deniability. It's
You have to.
You just have to
Yeah.
do
You
it.
have to.
I can't even say I've never been above stuff like that all the
Right.
time.
I do it every single day.
Asking for a friend.
The friend is me.
I'm the friend. I don't have any friends, sorry.
But yeah, no, that's all I had, Luke.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that, she asks the Grand Maester, did he ever speak to you? Or do you believe that this is what he intended? Like, do you believe that Viserys would have changed his mind? And I like that the Grand Maester plays a real down the narrow path of, he never talked to me about it. I really couldn't say. Like, I'm not going to give you anything. I'm not being, like, against you, but I'm not really being for you. Like,
Ain't for you, but ain't again you.
I ain't again it, but he definitely plays the, I'm going to kind of say nothing. He's doing a do nothing in a way.
Sometimes.
Loose lips sink ships.
Yeah, that's true.
Doesn't want to step in it.
Abby, any thoughts?
No, but y'all got him.
All right. Dragonstone. Then.
Bela summons the Black Council.
First note I had, Jace has had Bela's back, like, from the beginning. Before they were even betrothed. When Aemon attacked her and the dragon, he's like, you can't attack her. Or Aegon talked shit to her at the thing. You can't speak to my betrothed this way. And even the council meeting, have you been out doing shit? She has. And it's just every single time he's like, it's just a true good dude. It's like, you're my girl, I got you.
And he really respects her. Like, he respects the fuck out of her.
Oh, yeah.
Which is very evident, and it's really great. I like it.
Abby.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I just want to make sure.
No, you're good.
So what I think is interesting is that the council is like really just, what do they say? Corlys has a line that he calls it, it's a word I'd never heard
Rudderless
before.
or something?
Like you're pawing for power, but he calls
Yeah.
he calls it something, I don't remember what it was. And I'm very at the end, and I don't want to overrun Bailey here. So,
You're
I'm
fine.
sorry.
I think you're in a second council meeting, maybe. Or is that this one?
Well, according
This
to
is-
Bailey's
Nope.
notes, this
Nope.
is the one we're
This
in.
is
Sans
Yes.
Rhaenyra.
Sorry, yep. Alright, go ahead, Bailey.
It's just so stupid that everyone is disagreeing and nobody can even come to see eye to eye until Corliss walks in, and then, oh, the man is here. We can finally have a direction.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Amen, girl.
Mhm.
Because that's exactly how I felt about it. It just... And the two younger ones, they're, like, keeping their own. They're holding their
They're
own.
doing
They're
pretty
doing
well.
right by what is going on. And they're just being needled. And then...
Damn millennials.
Fucking millennials. We ruin everything, damn. But then... Rainey's gets in there and she's making sense and answering questions, and they're still, well, these answers aren't good enough. And Corliss comes in and he's like, hey, kids, I said enough. Listen to your mother. And they're like, oh, we better listen to her. It's annoying.
Grandpa's here.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Glenn.
She, I guess Bela does say something funny, putting the one guy in his place because he's like, we need a fucking dragon or whatever. It's like, perhaps you can burn them next time on your dragon.
Yeah, that was a good
Good, like, yeah. Damn old man.
Oh yeah, where's your dragon? My other car's a dragon.
It's in the shop.
It's in the shop. My other dragon's in the shop.
Yep.
Alright, Luke.
Yeah, this whole thing. This is the one that got all.
Yeah.
My sentence structure here does not make sense because the way I was typing it got weird. But this
God.
feels like Robb Stark talking to convincing the Great John that, like, dude, I fucking got this. Like, you need to just hop on board and get
Your
on the B
meat is
train.
bloody
We're
tough.
doing this. Or like Daenerys flying into Marine. Like, it's kind of a similar, like when she flies back and it's Tyrion and Natalie Emanuel hanging out, getting drunk. We were having fun. Look at the fun we're having. I drink and I know things comes from right around that same scene. But it just kind of
Use the
felt like a
water.
similar scene
You
structure to that of like the
yes.
young, kind of potentially viewed as inexperienced leader figure showing their balls to the people that they need to
Yeah.
get them to follow them. That's how you get them to follow them. You show them your
You
balls.
show 'em your
Really.
It reminds
Here
me
you
of
go,
an
man.
experience I've had this weekend when I watched a mother watch her teenage daughter drive wonderfully, by the way, through the hills. And I was just like, she's fine. And the driver's, I'm fine. And she's like, I know it's because I'm not in control. She's like, I know it is.
Well, everyone feels that way with her driving.
Short breaks.
But yeah, I had a similar thought about
Sorry,
here
Melissa.
comes Corliss to solve the problem. Like,
Here he comes to save the
right?
day.
It was like, come on, like they kind of were already. But it does suck that sometimes you need that one loud voice that people already have the respect for to then transfer that respect, like have
That's-
a vote of confidence.
Yeah.
But
Well,
It
I didn't
just
even
thinks
to
that-
back the idea.
I
that
trust
we
Jason
present-
Bela to make decisions
It's-
in this council.
yeah,
It's the dad voice. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes kids need a dad voice.
dad or daddy?
No.
Was that a Corliss daddy voice?
Be zaddy, by the way.
Zaddy. Anywho, so that was a scene.
Yeah.
Check.
Next one, Glenn.
Drift mark.
Look at all the fun we're having.
We move to the next scene.
Yes, sir.
All right, I believe we're at Duskendale. So we got post-sacking. Cole gives the remaining soldiers an ultimatum.
Gotta have for anybody that's got anything. It was just it seemed that it needed to be had, but it was like
It helps transition.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly there's no interest in going after Harrenhal, which is interesting, given
Which
what
is probably a
we
good
think
idea.
the plan is supposed
Yeah.
to be.
I just think it's crazy to me that like they keep sacking these castles, but they probably can't kill off too many of the soldiers. I'd assume just because they need them for sacrificial hams for the next sacking.
yeah, which is definitely true, and it's effective. Cut off their leader's head. Who's next? Oh, we're good.
Right.
We're with you.
Did anyone else get the after the loot train with Tarly,
Yeah,
Dickon
yeah.
Tarly, and Randall Tarly vibes?
Oh yeah.
When they
Oh,
were
yeah.
executing kind of it en masse with the dragon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was like a similar, again, kind of a similar shot to something we've seen
Yeah.
this franchise do. And I mean, there's been other beheadings and things, but it just felt more like that than like Ned Stark beheading somebody,
Right.
or
Yeah.
it's just like in the field.
Yeah,
it definitely shows a precedent that had already been set, or this is just the way it's done, and has been for generations.
And it gives that standout, leader one last, stand up and being like, no, fuck you, you're nothing, you're up jump, and to show his men, I never gave up, I never, surrendered. Kind of thing.
And this is what my house, from what I'm dying for, I hope they continue that cause. It's a confirmation of, this is my last will and testament for my house, in a way.
For the next castle, and then they'll probably die too.
They could. More on that later.
So, alright, King's Landing.
Alright, Aegon takes his frustrations out on the council. Aemon embarrasses Aegon.
Glenn.
So I think last episode I said something about club sandwich. This is good. It's going to be interesting, his first council meeting or whatever, and the first thing we get is him being bitched at by Aegon or whatever. So I don't know if he really deserved it or whatever, but it's just kind of funny. Now we're not friends anymore.
And Clubby comes back with the great line. That guy's more crippled than I am. I'm like, damn. Okay, love the self-deprecation there. And I do love that he's like, yeah, let him have it, because I have all the money. He's going to be running in circles trying to do whatever. And, even that's when Aemon's kind of piping in. And, yeah, this is what we want him. We want him there. Just back
and we
up.
know where he's at.
Yeah.
That's a great thing.
Yeah, but I do feel bad for Aegon here. Because he legitimately is trying to know. He's been bad at being raised and learning what he's supposed to know. And he's bad at this. But he's trying, and nobody's giving him the respect to actually let him try. All you gotta do is just give him information. Give him the information and let him work it out. But keeping shit from him, that's how shit goes south.
But it also shows that Almond is much more...
I really like that. I just saw that right here. It's perfect.
Almond is just such a nut, man. He's a nut.
He's a joy.
He's a nutty joy.
It's nutty that everyone is not just aware that Almond really is the one that has all of the tools. He's basically throwing it in. It's a weird scene. It's cool because it's a way that Almond can show Aegon that, no, this is, what it means to be a Targaryen king. Being able to speak Valyrian, you can't do it that well. But I'm also using this as a way for you to save face right now. I'm taunting you, but I'm also helping you with the taunt.
I'm giving you the out.
In a way. And it's really a bit of show of dominance, but it's also I'm helping you, at the same time kind of thing. And knowing exactly where Daemon is huge. We do not need to be wasting our time and effort chasing Daemon out of Harrenhal right now. Okay, by the book, yes, you shouldn't not hold your own castle. But in this case, at war, that's a known commodity right now.
They also hold the power of it, which right now it's just money. What else?
Well, where does the power lie, Abby?
Where people perceive it to lie.
Right, so right now, Daemon's there convincing the people.
Yeah,
because he holds the castle.
But
is it the money that matters, or is it the
It depends.
The castle?
It depends.
Right, it depends.
It's what is your needs at the time?
Mm-hmm. And Daemon's needs are the people around him to rally with him, and they're trying to.
We'll learn more about brokenness in the future.
I think both sides are correct
for where they're looking for money or for soldiers.
Yeah, or money and soldiers.
More money, more soldiers.
That's what they've always said.
Yeah, I love how Aegon feels really useless here, and it is pretty funny to see him get so owned by his brother. But at the same time, I feel like he was never really given the tools to learn about this job because he was never supposed to be the heir.
Exactly.
And so the time wasn't put in.
Okay,
he
so
He should still know Valyrian.
He should,
As a dragon rider,
absolutely.
I think you should know Valyrian.
I feel
other than just hear the commands.
Bad for Aegon. As the, take you out of the class kid to take your test. I feel very much that he's I am trying to do a good job. And everybody's yes. Very good. Sit there and we'll get that later. You are trying and you're whatever, but they literally are not giving him any tools or any type of confidence.
No, it's he proved himself useless once and now they've written
that
him
is off. Yes, and we see where this goes later on. I don't think he would have been as useless as they made him. And he could have been okay with the seat he was given, which was really kind of do nothing, listen to your advisors. Had that been like, and learn from them, not use as a
and on top of that, you know, when there are plans being made, because he wants to war. I can't make war. You know, he wants to war. Let him know what's going on.
Hey,
with
we're
the
thinking
war.
this.
Yeah, here's the plans we're putting in motion. You know, this is gonna work.
And this is why.
Yeah, give him that. He'll be cool.
Oh,
you know. But,
wow, that's really smart, Luke. You got it.
So we made a PowerPoint. And just study the PowerPoint, and then
Oh, that was a good idea.
Damn.
Oh.
I could have seen it on paper though, but I never even got the paper.
Right.
Like shit.
There was a whole chapter I was left out of my syllabus.
Nobody even told. You should have just told me. It was in the syllabus. Oh.
Did you get that memo?
That was an email.
Yeah.
I misread the syllabus.
I got the memo.
You get the worst grade.
Yep.
Alright. Next part, King's Landing.
All right, is this we got Club Sandwich checks in on Allison after her absence in the council meeting.
So, go ahead, Glenn.
He's definitely snooping around. Like I don't know if he's just meaning that, like I'm just looking out for your well-being, or I'm also at the same time just kind of looking around, seeing what you got. Oh, you got, what is this? Great Bacon Race. What are these books that you got?
You're snooping?
Yeah. That just seems like what he's doing as well. Like
he's going through the medicine cabinet when he goes to other people's houses.
Right.
But he's not doing prescriptions.
He
He's just asking, hey, what was that?
Cialis?
What was that vagina yeast cream for in there?
You having some problems?
Want to talk about it?
Yeah, Allison does not do a good job at trying to cover her tracks.
No, yeah.
It's like, this is the first time she's ever done this, but it's not.
Yeah, everybody knows you got to throw the Plan T into the fire after you're done with it. The Plan T cup.
Plan T.
Plan T.
So,
DoorDash.
Get it on
Plan T.
DoorDash.
no, that's more a hymns.
I was gonna say get hers.
Get hers.
Discreet packaging.
Discreet packaging, exactly. All right,
We're not sponsored by Hims or hers, but if you know anyone that works there,
We could
give us a
be.
call. Shoot us a message at No and Drink on X, I guess.
Luke.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that that Club Sandwich walks in, is like, you don't seem yourself lately. Like, way to just like call it all out. Like, yeah, she's dealing with some shit that you're just trying to get her to confide in you to have another secret. You know, it's what he's doing. He's playing in secrets and confidences, and okay, fine. Like, it's just the same shit that we see from him time in, time out. You know, and
No, Luke, you're done.
No, you're not.
And that's enough.
we can come back to my other note on this because it hasn't come up yet.
Okay.
Oh.
Abby.
Well, I don't know what his note is because I just cleared out everything. So here it goes. I'm going to run right over it, I'm sure.
I've already spoken too much.
You've been cut off. Larry's this episode, like, I think that he actually is very intelligent, and people are, like, the consensus is he's not as smart as he is, or he's, like, grimy. He's a little finger.
Clubworth?
Yeah, but I think that he's almost as smart as Tyrion. Like, I think it could be there. I'm not going to
I don't think he brags about his smarts or anything. I think he keeps it, his hand close to his chest.
Absolutely. He's playing Chinese checkers when everyone else is playing
checkers.
They're playing war.
When everybody else is throwing the marbles around.
It's more fun anyways.
The marbles on the table are for. They're all going to play Chinese checkers later.
But he says, it makes like a statement, something about like, it's okay to like indulge your fantasies. And I really think he already knows what's happening with her and what's his name? Colostomy bag. And
Colostomy bag Cole.
yeah, and
No, just colostomy bag.
I literally Googled names for him and I forgot them. This is very sad. This is when I was coming up with songs though. That wasn't one, that was just anyways, And so I think he already knows that, but then she is like, no, blah, blah, blah. And he goes and sits directly on the couch where some feety stuff had happened and is like, I really think he's just like, hey,
can we do this
I'm
again?
not judging you. We could really be friends. Like, we could really just...
Let me see them feet.
Let me see them feet.
Yeah, lady, how
but-
your tootsies doing?
Get the biggies out.
Yeah.
I'll hide your secrets if you hide mine.
But I think he doesn't have the charm and charisma doesn't have the riz that Tyrion has.
That's a word for it.
But I think he's just as intelligent, but probably won't do as well because he's not going to charm his way out of stuff.
And, like, right along with that, you know, he specifically is inferring so much out of what she is saying that he's basically calling, like, do you now doubt Viserys' intentions? Like, he's calling out the core of what her problem is right now.
Yeah.
Because she is all fucked up with that going on and the baby thing and, like, or at least needing the plan T.
The DoorDash tip that she left, and
Right,
I want
yeah.
to take
Gotta
that
show up on
back.
your credit card
Right.
receipts, so
Yeah.
everyone's gonna know.
And she does have kind of a badass line of it of, followers will believe what they want, many will die, and the victor will sit throne. Viserys' intentions died with him. She gives no fucks now. Now that she knows the truth, she's like, this has started. Either what a line says later in the episode, either we win or I die, or my line is gonna die. That's basically where she's at, and it's nice to see. It's like,
Just
okay,
pushed her cards in.
Yep.
I mean, she's all in, all the chips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't fold now.
There's a song about that.
so all right, next area. Unless anyone's got anything else.
All right, we're going to Harrenhal. Daemon, still plagued by delusion, runs into an Alice Rivers.
Have you got anything on?
So I have been looking the entire time that we have watched all of this stuff for why and how Outlander and Game of Thrones get together. It had nothing to do with Edmund Tully. Fuck him. And Blackjack Randall. But Alice Rivers, without a doubt, is Gayless. Well, it's Gayless Duncan masking as this woman. Like, I heard her voice and I was like, that's not her, but it's her. Also, sorry, that's a tangent. Less tangent-y. In the background while she's talking, you hear a lot of frogs, which I think has something to do with, like, a name, something frog.
Kermit.
Mary Frog, Maggie. And then you also hear owls screeching, which she later on says, like,
I'm a barn owl.
I'm a barn owl. But, like, those are the...
You're a barn owl.
Those are the two. There's one other animal in there, and I can't tell what it is, but I listened to it, like, on my way home, full audio in my car, like, surround sound to be like, what is the other animal? It's something yippy, I don't know, but it's just a thought I had during there.
A wild yippee-ki-yay. Which is not
Yep.
a Christmas movie.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Is that what the fox says?
Ring, 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 Damon, you.
Go ahead.
So I think, like before this, I think Daemon sees a figure, looks like himself or whatever, kind of like, and he's kind of chasing him around.
Hey, get back here.
And it turns out to be himself dressed as Almond. So I don't know if that's some kind of significance or something like that, or like
I
they're one and the same.
Jumped to the end of that scene, yeah.
I mean, well, I didn't know where you were starting at, so I do.
Quit coming to me first.
So yeah, and I actually didn't catch. Like, I knew it wasn't Aemon. Like when the guy spun around, I didn't realize it was Matt Smith being dressed as Aemon. I knew it was like. So, like, it looked different. Like, that didn't look like it was just a quick shot. I'm like,
It looked like him, but it didn't at the same time.
yeah,
And
so it's actually interesting that it's Daemon as Daemon.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar to cutting off the Alcock's head, the first scene with him. He's clearly facing these kind of inner demons, and I think this could be looked at as him looking at Almond as a bit of his equal. Like, he's looking at him as like, hey, that's the one I need to, like,
Yeah.
he is what I am for this team on their team. Like, That is number one stunner. What? You know what I'm talking about?
That's what he said. I think I heard that before the frogs and
James
the
Bond,
owls.
Jackie Chan, like the bitch forgot. That's the number one stunner.
Number one stuff.
That one's for you, AK, if you're in the chat still.
Bailey, any thoughts on this part?
Not specifically.
Okay.
I mean, it was a scene. We get some information that I'm sure is going to be useful down the line. But
Gotcha. I just had. It seems like she's been there a while, like quite some time. So just thought that was interesting on that. Any other thoughts, Luke? On
I can't.
I know.
I don't know. This time,
I can't have more thoughts right now.
I have more thoughts now that I actually know where we're at.
Yeah.
But I want Glenn to go first. I deferred my time to Glenn.
Well, are we still on the
I
House Rivers?
He was about to speak. Yes. I think so.
I was gonna say, like, at the same time, with all this hijinks and stuff, is she even real?
Oh, that's a good point. I do think she's real, but I don't know. I don't know enough. I haven't read head far enough ahead, and I have stayed off the interwebs because I really fucked myself over. So I
After
have,
the Alan Adams.
yeah, I have stayed far away. They're like, House of the Dragon, dude, scroll.
I think like it could turn out like, and I'm not saying this is gonna happen at all, but like her, Simon Says could be fake too, and it's just, everything could be in his head or something like that.
Hallucinating.
Yeah.
He could still be asleep. It was all a dream. No, fair.
Except
I
it's
mean,
Bob Open, you know, or no, Bob Newhart. Sorry.
or Link.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Like,
I don't want to.
well, Melissa asked me, like, why do you think Damon is having all of these visions? Or I was like, oh, it's just the consequences of his own actions. Or, like, his conscience. Or, like, these deep-seated, he's working through stuff. However, this is the scene, right, that Alice Rivers tells him that he is laying on a bed of weirwood.
Yep.
Like, that shit, you already know. Like, we have seen multiple times over and over again. It's gonna mess people up. That and, like, everything within get out of the castle. Get out of the castle. Like, that's...
clearly things aren't going too well for you. Maybe it's where you are.
Get out of the castle. Like, take a breath of fresh air beyond
walk.
that forest.
Yeah, I mean, it's intended to be shown as Harrenhal is a cursed place, right? For cutting down the Weirwood Grove and building furniture. Like, we all know that that's a questionable thing in future, like, just to deal with in this story. But, like, yeah, it's interesting that we get kind of this thriller sort of, like,
where it's
horror,
real.
like
it could be
these-
jump
They're
scary.
like episodes with him every time, and is any of it real? Why is this happening to him? Is somebody doing this to him? Is he in a Jigsaw from Saw puzzle? Like, is someone doing this to him, or is it just kind of showing the greed of him knowing that he needs to stay here and this is just happening? Like, yes, get out of there, but like, can he do that because he needs to hold the castle?
The last thing I'll say is a big, like, Damon, oh, everybody loves him, and I'm like, why? He sucks, because that's kind of been my stance.
Oh, for Damon?
Kind of, like...
Okay, well, I'm going to mute your microphone.
Well, I was going to say, let me have this floor to say, I do not think that these are his, like, allowable thoughts, or, like, sure, there's some part of him that he could have bought into some time ago, but has worked against it, and I think he's just, whatever. The last thing also... She says, Nira says, you created me. This is a little bit, created could be a very wide interpretation. Because I'm looking at the High Valyrian, and that's just a weird phrasing to me. So, sorry.
When you were talking about these are not his, like, active thoughts, do you know what that reminded me of, team? The Occlumency chapter with Snape. Just wanted to, I mean, because the things that Harry ends up giving away to Snape, or in reverse when Harry, like, defends and he gets
drawn into Snape's
mind of things that he's trying to protect.
Yep.
It's just, it feels like that's what you were sort of describing.
It is. Like, there's, like, definitely a subconscious something going on, but I don't know.
Fair. Well, we may find out. I
hope
know
so.
what they're going to do with it.
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
Heck yeah.
Alan Rickman.
I got you.
And with that, we'll go to the next scene.
All right, Syl and Harrenhal Damon takes an elixir that puts him in the middle of an important meeting.
Bailey.
Sure was a potent potion.
Demeaning most potent potion. Sorry, I saw that. I'm like, God, and then Luke, you set it up, so I'm like, thank you.
No, and honestly, like, it gave me such a Harry Potter vibe of going into the, oh god, why can't I think of the term? The pensive.
Yeah.
Of, like, falling right into the middle of something.
Yeah.
This scene felt like that to me.
Yeah.
Of, like, he clearly probably has, I don't know, wandered the halls now for who knows how long. High off his ass?
Dude, he has been tripping balls, even outside of the visions he is having.
I love that you guys are like, hey, Harry Potter, fake realm. Because I remember a time, because there are elixirs out there today, that you will look at your son watching Blaze and the Monster Machines and say, did we take the big kids to school this morning? Yeah. As he's eating bacon, eggs, pancakes, the kitchen's clean. And that's the first memory of the day. I took them to school? Yeah, we took them to school, Mom.
Nice work.
Not taking that again. Little strong.
Drunk Benji has taken care of sober Benji a few times, so.
I was not drunk.
No, I know, I'm just going off.
Yeah.
You know, been there.
It was a little blue pill. Not
Glenn.
taking it again.
Glenn.
So yeah, this is definitely like a worst nightmare scenario if you're at a job or whatever, like showing up mentally in the middle of a meeting when like, hey Glenn, what do you think about the Sunshine Square proposal? Like, where are we at?
I'm for it. I think
That's a great point.
They really put the work in, and I for one applaud.
This is me on every.
You get promoted somehow. Like.
I mean, it's like the Office Space thing. I'm gonna start not giving a shit, and I'm actually gonna get shit done.
See, I went the other route. At the end of the scene, I wanted Damon to go full Zoolander and go, and who are you again? And why male models? You know, like...
What is this? A center for ants?
I just explained that to you. You know, it's like, just one little quick more, like...
We just had this conversation.
Yeah, but it was funny kind of just watching him just stonily, like, trying to, like, keep track of where the fuck he's going. It's like, okay. And
It's like me reading
soldiers
these
are good.
notes.
You know? What's that?
It's like me reading these notes. Abby, any thoughts on it? Nope. I'll just jump to the end of the scene. Hold on. Who are you? Where are we again? I get it.
Alright, so, next scene, then.
Alright, King's Landing. Aegon becomes bored with the council, is put in place by his mother.
Somebody take it.
I like how when Aegon leaves, like, he's just frustrated, right? He's like, it doesn't fucking matter if I'm here, I'm leaving. And they just continue with it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Like,
Hey,
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter.
we'll catch you next time.
he
Thanks
left,
for
let's
coming.
order lunch and then let's get back to it.
Man, what'd you think of the Sunshine Daisies proposal?
Buttermellow.
Bailey got it.
I mean, Aegon's clearly not needed. And I love this whole scene between him and his mom because she's calling him out. She doesn't care. She has 0 fucks left to give. And he tells her, tread carefully. Or what? What are you going to do to me?
It's the first time I feel like she's really, like, believed that power or has nothing else to lose and is like, fine, do it.
I think she has the I've got nothing else to
Like,
lose.
Yeah,
in a
might as
way.
well.
That's a little more dangerous than what... She is more dangerous now than she's ever been with this.
All gloves are off,
Yep.
in her opinion. And there is also, because it is literally her son, who's the only person that's ever really put him in his place from an adult
Right.
perspective that he respected. It could just be her trying to show, I'm still your mom.
Yeah.
Not exactly what they're talking about, but the way that she's able to levy that kind of authority back at him.
Yep.
I think she's trying to grasp for, let's see if I have any control as
Yeah.
mom still, and see what he does with it. Like, I don't think it goes the way she's hoping.
Yeah. Glenn.
Yeah, I mean, to piggyback off of what you guys are pretty much saying, I think she's done caring. She's going to talk to him how she wants now, irregardless of if she gets hung or not.
Alright, we're going to give this mic up here.
Irregardless, people get hung.
Did I say something wrong, Luke?
Yeah, I'm kind of just on the same thing. Like, when he goes, or she says, and what thoughts would you have? You know, he's like, I have thoughts. Well, what thoughts would you have? Well, I'm the king. And her look, like, she's like genuinely like, what's your thoughts? You fucking moron. Like, you just see the dejected part in her face. She's like, Jesus fucking Christ. I have done everything.
I don't think she has, though.
No, she's saying she's done everything. Like, she.
Oh,
yes. She called
you're
out
right
of, for the last few years, I've ran the realm. Me and your grandfather, we did this shit.
Mm-hmm.
You could have been listening to us, talking to us, maybe showing some interest. You didn't.
Is it
now,
years at this point?
Yeah, like the last couple years of Viserys.
Viserys,
yeah.
not when he got in. Yes.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he's only been in charge for like 3 weeks. But like, she ran the realm for years, relatively peacefully, and she's like, you could just fucking listen. That's all we asked. Just sit there and do nothing. You know, and I know
do nothing because he
That's
didn't
the
have a
problem.
job.
No, I know.
He didn't have a reason to give a shit.
No. But I'm saying now, like she's saying now, all you have to do is sit there and listen. We will guide you. We, but you're too brazen, too bullheaded. You want to do things, and we get it. But you have to understand, we've been doing this. We're your better option. You know, not saying what you're saying is wrong. Just saying there's better options to it, and I just love her like look of just fucking hell. You know, really, I'm the king. Okay, great, good.
You just proved everyone's point.
Yeah.
It's like, so this tea that she took or whatever, I know, like, I mean, basically
Earl Grey
tea.
Yeah.
I was
But
trying
do you
to come
think
up
that
with
has
a
any,
real
like-
name of it, but okay.
Does that have any bearing? It makes her a little bit kind of relaxed or drunk or something?
I think it actually, probably the exact opposite.
Let's tread lightly here, males.
I am. I'm going to.
I know
Sorry.
specifically how this.
Sorry. I don't know either, but you're gonna tread real lightly.
I'm going to tread real lightly.
Okay.
It makes her a real bitch.
The maester
So
said
hormonal.
It affects gut health. So
Yeah.
it probably mimics time of the month kind of thing, and which on top of that probably gonna put in a little bit of pissy mood. Your stomach's all fucked up, regardless, or irregardless, whichever you have,
That's especially disgusting.
Exactly.
I could leave.
You couldn't. It wouldn't be as fun.
But so I would think it's the opposite way of relaxing her. It's kind of putting her just in that, like, I am just not going to deal with this shit right now, kind of mentality. And would I be wrong for thinking, like...
I don't know.
Okay. You're like...
I've never taken Earl Grey.
I'm not saying taking Earl Grey, but...
Playing Earl. Hey, Earl had to die.
Earl.
It kind of worked.
I should have worn my shirt.
It kind of worked.
Dang.
So it's Earl Cole.
But no, I don't think you're probably wrong. Or either one. The way, medication or herbs or whatever
some
affect
kind of
your
effect
body.
that-
Yeah.
That'd be great if it relaxed her like a fake, why can't I think of what I'm talking about? Great. That's not sex. That was the shot you get in your back. Epidural. That'd be great. Ooh, not that it relaxes you. Or, yes, I would imagine that these potents or things that they're taking, potions, are going to contract and expel, which I would imagine really hurts and isn't comfortable, and
little coals.
has, you have had it up to here, and you are just one coming away from going to jail.
Coal cum.
Colcum.
One credit I will give Megan in the scene before we move on to somebody else kind of thing. When she was first in, she was looking for Viserys' books because she wanted that.
Yes.
And he's like, I got rid of them or moved them. And she's like,
She freaks out.
well, to her, he burned, destroyed them and all. He's like, I didn't burn them. I just moved them.
They're just not here.
God, Bob, I'm not
No.
stupid. I just didn't
But
even look
she
at them
had credit to
anymore.
him to because I could see him doing that. Being like, these fucking books, just burn them. Kind of having that wherewithal, but these probably should be saved.
This is why I feel so bad for him, because she just automatically defaults to, he's so fucking stupid and useless.
Yeah.
And then reiterates that.
When there was that scene back last season when she specifically says, "You are no son of mine," I feel like their dynamic has changed.
They cut right
in
there.
a way that was potentially an irreparable moment.
I'm okay
in a
with
way.
that then. That's
Like,
fine.
In general,
Yeah.
like it feels like there's no coddling. She's not parenting, but she's playing the card
Yeah.
when she can. I don't know. It's a bit shitty
I will
how
use
she
you.
treats him, but
Yeah.
he is shitty at
But
times
also,
too. So
yeah.
All right, anybody else for this part? All right, moving on.
All right, we're in the Crown Lands. I think it's outside of Duskendale. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
No,
Rook's Rest.
on the way to Rook's Rest.
Is it okay? It's somewhere in the Crown Lands. Probably outside of Rook's Rest. Maybe Duskendale. Cole and company plan to lay siege to the castle.
Go ahead, Glenn.
So you see the troops kind of cutting down trees and working their asses off, and and then all of a sudden Cole comes in. All right, off to battle, and it's like, God damn, like we've been working our asses off, like, and now like, and I think your Sir Gawain says, like, why now, like.
Yeah, we should wait for nightfall. It's more. No, we'll attack by day. They'll never see it coming.
Quick, everyone put your flashlights on. They won't see us coming.
Yeah, you guys put in like a 12-hour workday, and now we're going to battle.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's interesting
Head
because
out.
in that, Gawain, kind of dissents with the idea, and Cole, accumulation Cole, basically is like, "Are you afraid?" And Gawain's like, "It's worse than that. I'm rational." It's like such a Tyrion response. It's much worse. I'm rational. Just bear with me here. But it still doesn't go his way, and it's kind of Columbine Cole really showing that he's got some real authority here. Like when he just kind of says, "You don't matter in the decision of this.
Yeah.
We're doing this."
Yeah.
And he specifically says, "We advance." Basically just end of discussion. Aegon could take a note a little bit from how to actually lead with authority.
Stand your ground.
Whether you like him or not, he's a pretty good leader, at least for men in battle.
Yeah.
He's
talking about
effective,
Koliakovo Cole.
Carlo Koliakovo Cole, yes. Calypso.
All right. Anybody, Bailey?
I mean, rationality. Who knew? Apparently, it's not very high on everyone else's list.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, that was kind of all a quick scene, but it set the tone for it, I think. All right. Moving on.
All right, we're back at Dragonstone. Rhaenyra returns to the Black Council.
I'm glad Jace called her out when she walked in. He's like, "Where the fuck you been?" We've been here trying to figure this out. Shit's getting happened around here.
You left us unread.
We've been a terrible council since then. And-
I need an adult.
You didn't inform me of your schedule before you left on your work trip.
And she has a line of, some have taken my caution for weakness. Well, yeah, you've done fuck all at this point. I'm sorry.
Disagree.
She has. She has not done a damn thing. Now I can understand why people would attribute that to weakness. Now, has it been actual weakness? Probably not. But for you to be
It appears
offended
that way.
that people appear to take you that way because you haven't done anything. You've been trying to do the diplomatic and reasoned
Which
thing,
is something.
which
That's
is
not nothing.
you have done fuck all to show your enemies that you are serious. Until
From the outside, that's
from the
exactly what
outside.
it looks like.
and that's what I'm saying. So what she says is true, and yes, I'm glad that she's finally stepping up and saying, "Okay, we need to act." So, all right, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, mine kind of comes towards the end of this little speech she gives once they kind of get their, "Hey, how you been?" taken care of. She basically throws it out there of either we win or I die. Like that, there's no...
Yeah,
we try. I'm done with what you've been... what you guys are perceiving, what you were explaining, that's over. It's fucking on Donkey, Cheech, and Chong right now.
A little less conversation, a little more action.
I think she's basically saying, yes, now is time for action, and that's where we're at. For anyone that's doubting her, hopefully they take that as okay,
yeah,
we're going. There's no other way out of this besides fighting through at this point.
Bailey.
We see the battle to be head dwagon of who's gonna go and lead this first charge for the war. Really, the first intentional charge.
You know, I mean, you have 4 dragons in the room, and you're only sending 1. I'm sorry, bad planning.
You don't
You
want
should
to put
always
all
have.
your
You don't. but
dragon eggs
you
in one basket.
at least have 1 in reserve. You could have 1 kind of scope out the backside of the battlefield in case
Cover my 6.
there's another dragon, because there's a good possibility
Top
one
Gun.
could show up. You know, but no,
Maverick
just
and
send
Goose.
the, you know.
You can be my wingman anytime.
Yeah, I'm more of a jester.
But anyway, yeah. So, Glenn.
I would say, yeah, entry-level dragon rider position needed, minimum 10 years of experience. So that's basically with Jace. He really wants to get some action, some trigger time, and they're like, oh, you don't have the experience. And it's like, well, how do you get the experience if you don't?
Yeah,
I mean, not
kinda
saying
your
that
point,
this
Ben.
is
Be
the-
like, let him go shadow what it looks like.
Yeah, but be in the reserves, tell them, unless absolutely dire, don't engage or engage on the peripheral, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. Some things done for story elements, it's just like, that doesn't make sense. You have more dragons than they do. Use them. Alright. I think that's all we got for Dragonstone.
All right, next kind of sequence of scenes we got. There's kind of overlap a little bit. King's Landing, Dragonstone, Rook's Rest. So we're going to start off with Aegon ties one on, prepares to ride a dragon while intoxicated.
So the only thing I have for this is that I loved it. I love Sunfire's little nose nuzzle and Aegon's just true smile and like as the dog lover, like I want Poe to come sit here because
Please.
I know, come here, but I don't want
There's
to.
no room
I'm
for
not.
her at the end.
Like as the guy who
Has
loves
her.
all the pets and everything like that, I can fully relate that to the puppy. Just and Sunfire's just happy reaction. It's just so cool, so cute. Good boy.
Yeah, Aegon goes out looking for trouble or glory or maybe both.
Yeah. Anything?
I mean, yeah, I think Aegon is just definitely, he's kind of pissed off at the way, like, not that, everything's his fault or whatever, but he kind of got put in his place by his mom. I think after that, like, I mean, we've all been, your parents, like, yell at you or whatever. And
He did do the kind of cat thing, like. Thanks.
But he's making irrational decisions.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely feels like it seems like he feels emasculated, especially after the mom conversation. He was looking for some support there, and she kind of doubled down like, well, you're fucking worthless. So what's he do? Gets hammered, I'm going to show them I'm not worthless. I'm going to go out
I'm
there
going
and
to
do
show
something.
them.
I'm gonna bring my dragon!
And I'm going to make the first dragon move. Like, in his mind, I'm going to go out there, show that I'm the fucking king. I'm a fucking Aegon. I'm not just another Targaryen king. He takes the namesake very seriously. I'm going to show up with dragon power and do my fucking job.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show them that I can have a place at my own fucking table. Like, he's going a bit overboard because no one has him even on the table as a useful piece. Like, he's going to show that there's more to me than just my name or my seal. Like, I'm offering stuff myself. Taking it in his own hands where he can.
Hey y'all, watch this.
Hold my beer.
Kind of. Hold my wineskin.
Have any thoughts on the Aegon scene? Alright. Next part of it.
Rhaenyra passes down the Song of Ice and Fire.
She said the thing. She said the thing. Like, specifically calling out the Song of Ice. Like, it's happened a couple times.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
know.
kind of always like, we get it.
Yeah.
Like,
It took them 8 seasons to get to it in Game of Thrones, at least.
Mhm.
So, or maybe 7, I think maybe it did come
they
out
just
then.
needed that
They
dagger.
gotta make up for lost time.
Yeah.
They just hadn't decided to use that dagger to be the one thing that's, like, iconic for the whole concept.
Right. Yeah, my only thing I liked in this scene it actually didn't have anything to do with, the mother-daughter part or mother-son part. It was more, which goes, Aegon the Conqueror, and it cuts to Aegon putting on the Conqueror's armor. I'm like, okay, that was a cool little, cut between the visual there. Abby anything?
No.
Glenn?
I have nothing else.
Alright.
Yeah, it was a special moment between mom and son, but, just helped to show the progression of where we're moving.
Alright, and the last part of this.
Rainey's heads
montage.
for Rook's Rest as Cole lays siege.
The only thing I had was, heard medleys of, it's time, old girl. It's time to ride again.
Hi-ho, silver! One more time!
Her to me wasn't as cute as Aegon's little interaction, but it was still as emotional.
It was impactful.
It was impactful, so that was all I had on that.
As far as Cole laying siege, ready the trees is what they're doing because they cut down the trees and seen beforehand. Now they're going to put them to use.
If those were around Isengard, that could really backfire on you.
We're taking the spice.
We're going to end find out.
You cut down our brothers.
Everybody else.
the dam.
All right. Can we just call this whole thing the final scene?
I feel like it kind of is.
It's like the last
Final location
So
scene.
Well, every episode we have one of these, and this happens to be this episode's
it just happens to be 15
Final.
minutes long.
final set of scenes.
Big ass scenes.
One
Ka-chow.
bagel scene.
Bagel scene.
A bagel scene.
Bagel scene.
All right, Glenn, take her away.
Christian Cole gets bagels with the boys.
For brunch.
A pre-war snack.
The bros at brunch.
The green... fuck. The Green Army is taking arrows as a dragon is seen on the horizon. A signal is given to a hidden almond.
So, going back to your point, Glenn, a little earlier, you said that he was like killing all the men, but he'd need to use them as cannon fodder. That's actually exactly what he's doing here.
The hams, yeah. They're
all the ones that are in front, they're Duskendale men. They all have the Duskendale shields. That's why they showed the one guy on the ground with the Duskendale shield right before they killed the leader.
Yeah.
So you knew their coat of arms when they got in. They're hauling the trees. It's all Duskendale men. Kind of thing. It's like, okay, again, go back to your point. It's a good move. You collect people who said for Rhaenyra went for her side. And it's like, okay, great. Now you're gonna battle for us. Oh yeah, you're the van. Go for it.
It's a real.
It's kind of like a sacrificial...
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
You're being sacrificed.
It's like a classic conquest thing, right? In general. I mean, Xerxes kind of shit. Like,
Yeah.
hey, Alexander the Great, you're going and conquering these people. They're the ones that are going to go and start helping you conquer the next one before you have to start depleting your original resources.
Yeah.
Like, you just keep adding on and protecting yourself further in.
And you don't lose anything of
No,
important if they do perish.
Your original core of important people who actually believe in you.
Yeah, and then using the sacrificial hams from Cole's perspective, it reminds me a bit of Zap Brannigan. I found the flaw in the Killbots' plan. They only have a finite number of kills, so I just kept sending bodies after bodies until they ran out and they destroyed themselves. That was the idea with the dragons. Just keep sending them bodies until they got tired.
Pretty much.
So... Alright, Luke.
Yeah, so this is... I don't have a note on this
Oh,
one.
you don't, sorry.
Basically. It's all interesting.
Great
Yeah.
note.
Glenn. I actually meant to call Glenn and I was like, brain just...
So we do see Vagar here, and I mean, for my money, Vagar just looks incredible. He's just such a hoss. He has a ball sack under his chin. That's how you distinguish him. But he just looks so much different than some of the other dragons.
So
Yeah.
would you say he's a ballsack Jinian from Men in Black? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He pulls the turtleneck down and punches him.
Was that Johnny? No, that wasn't the Johnny Knoxville one.
It's similar scene though.
I
It's
know.
right. It's right
It's
when
in
you
Men in
meet.
Black 2.
It's right when you meet Johnny Knoxville's character in there.
Yeah.
Not the same guy though.
Yeah.
He works for that guy, I believe.
Steve.
No. Anyway, continue.
Johnny
Yeah,
Knoxville
He's been
does?
a long time.
Yeah. Bailey.
It's interesting that Vagar really seems to be under control now. Whereas in the past we've seen him not want to listen to Almond. So that was just noteful for me.
Yeah. And I guess, this kind of ties in the next scene. So go ahead, Glenn, unless Abby, you got something on that
Nope.
first part. Okay.
All right, next stuff. Rhaenys, Meleys burn the battlefield. Aegon and Sunfire intercept them. Aemon, Vhagar intercept both of them. Aegon, Sunfire get knocked out.
Luke, go ahead.
Yeah, when Almond, he sees the king enter the fray, and he's like, you fucked everything up. Like, this was gonna be a no-brainer. This was easy. Now I gotta...
Bitch.
This just got more complicated because I can't just rush in and steal any glory from you because I can't belittle you in front of people just for the image. And two, I really don't want you dead, but at the same time it would solve some things. There's
For
a
the
lot
greater
that goes
good.
through in, that one moment, right, of, fuck this. I just didn't need this. We had this kind of all sorted out. And immediately after that, he finally kind of is like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. And Almond goes out and he kind of rallies the troops. Your king has entered the fight, sort of thing. Fucking get on, rallying the troops of, this is a big deal now. Your king is here fighting for you.
Yeah,
Get your shit together, and I need everything from... He doesn't belittle Aegon at all.
He spins it well.
He basically makes Aegon the fucking all-time champion for these guys on the ground.
For the
his
hams.
hams on the
I
ground.
hate all these names.
And, I don't know, it was just a really cool way that Almond was able to go and
There we go.
audible really well and spin it really well for their side in any regard.
Well, that was cool that did that. That was
But
cool.
if Aemon had come up with his
so-
dragon,
yeah,
it would have been useless.
Yes,
It
kind
was
of combined. It was
combination.
combined.
Yeah, so
Yes,
I
sorry,
wouldn't
it
give
was-
credit
it was
to
cool. Yeah.
Coleslaw there. He did, spin that to
That
be
was-
like, here we go. And then he advanced everybody, and then you saw what he had in reserve. Because even the Duskendale people like, oh, they have about 1,500. That shouldn't be a problem. Then the dragon show up, okay. But then you see the 20,000 come up from the trees at that point, where it's like, oh shit, okay, now we might be royally fucked, kind of thing.
Right there, I've spoken before about all the names. I'm sorry. Danny, original Danny that we know. When she is doing her speech, it just doesn't have it doesn't ring true. She's not gonna get an Aragorn speech, and people don't hear it like that. I really think that they messed with Cole's audio to make him more shrill during his "That's your king." He said just slightly, because I feel like if that man, even if he was trying to act more, I think that they adjusted his audio to not give it the bass boost and the whatever.
I think he was playing
Bass
more
boost.
panicked because this is not in the plan, and he's now he's the adrenaline dump is oh fuck, this is your kid, and so I think.
But do you think that he would really allow that to come out of his voice?
Yeah. I mean, because he,
He's in panic mode.
Panic mode. You're
Yeah.
just fuck. I got, yeah.
But
Can't make the king look like an idiot.
because I'm man, his speech kind of sucked. But then I'm honestly, the audio,
And it could have
the
been
voice of just I don't know. It just was so my thought. I was I think they messed with it.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with mine really quick. Sometimes, like I said already, it seems like such a good boy. Every dragon knows Valyrian or learns Valyrian. You know what? Sunfire's fuck it, I'll learn English for you. My dummy boy,
What a great...
my dummy boy, I got you, bud.
I'll meet you halfway.
We're in this together.
Ride or
I
die,
got
bitch.
you, bro.
And
It's a pretty dragon.
it's very pretty. Sparkles.
Bilingual dragon.
You're bilingual, Harry of the Rosetta Stone.
Yeah, how do you teach a dragon another language?
Well, that's what that whole movie was about. How to train your dragon.
It's such a good toothless.
Facebook profile
My man.
picture. For
So, and then my other note is the Rook's Lord or Castilla. I'm not sure if the Lord is on Dragonstone or whatever, but wherever he was, Lord, we need to get you inside the cover. And he's like, nah, fuck this. I'm watching the fucking sides of Rhode Island fly across here when Vhagar just slowly meanders into frame. I was just yeah, I would do the same thing. I'm fucked anyway. I want to see this.
Oh yeah, if you're on that battlefield and you see this massive dragon wing start coming up, you're like, fuck me, I'm dead.
Yeah. All right. Who else has got something for this?
I was gonna say it seemed like a good plan that they had. Aegon definitely like thwarted that, but I just think they probably should have gave him some kind of like little secondary job or something to keep him occupied, to where like, hey, you're on the team.
Yeah.
Or even just something back at King's Landing to keep him busy so he doesn't do what he has to
Right.
Show up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Keep him as far away as possible.
Tell the guys on the council, hey, like
It's
agree with everything that he says.
You need to go out to lunch together.
Sorry, go
Go,
ahead.
no, go ahead.
I just want to go before we move further.
Yeah.
So, do you remember a long time ago when Melissa and I told you, Glenn, that you need to have a podcast that just goes over children's shows? And that we were going to pick
podcast
them.
that never ends.
The podcast that never
Okay,
ends.
everybody remembers this?
Yeah, Lamb Chop.
Okay,
Come on,
so-
for sure.
We both voted that the first one you were going to watch, and you had to watch the whole fucking season of it, was Super Wings. Had you watched Super Wings, I don't think the next of this goes down. It makes me very angry because they always send out a Super Wing, and it's always Jet,
Yeah.
and he goes along, and then Dizzy or somebody else has to come in afterwards, and it takes twice as long. So why isn't Westeros watching Super Wings? You never send a Super Wing on its own. We should have learned. This is dumb. Sorry, before we move on, I just have some.
Yeah, no, it wasn't moving on yet
Feelings.
because there was one huge part of this scene. This is where
Your fault, Glenn.
Melees and Sunfire are going at it.
Sorry.
And everything, and then
I let everybody down.
Almond shows up, takes aim, and you clearly see who he's targeting. You know, there's no more like, you know, speculation or anything. It was, all right, I'm roasting you. You know, sorry, bro. You know, and it's like cleared up a lot of things, and I think this kind of ties back into the whole Maelor being left up because it leaves a lot less ambiguity there. And now it's like this is his reasoning. This is, you know, what he's aiming for officially, kind of
Just
thing.
to kill Aegon.
No, I don't think that was a plan, but I think that was the audible he called. He had the shot, he had the chance, and he's like, I'm gonna take it.
If
I
he
don't
looked
think
like he
it's-
could make it where he's trying to save the king.
Yeah,
And whoopsies, I just roasted him a little too much.
because here's the thing, this is online stuff that I saw, but going back to last episode, last season, you know, he's like, no, Vhagar, and he's like trying to stop Vhagar from destroying Luke, and he's just pure carries, like straight up, no hesitation, going for it. It's showing Aemon's true position.
I don't recognize that.
Okay. I mean, I think it was very, very clear that even Aegon was like, oh, thank you. And then he realized what the fuck's going on. He's like,
Well, Targaryens are dragon. They're fireproof, so it doesn't matter.
At confession time, I've only watched this on my phone, so any other idea that he was just trying to kill him, I don't see how. Like, was she behind him?
they were face to face. They were in clutches together.
Okay,
and
that's-
Aemon was from the side.
I have to go back and watch this on a real TV because I have missed a lot. But
I mean, I'm just saying, that's my take. And I don't know, it's pretty clear to me. But, all
I
right.
see it.
no, yeah.
Anybody got anything else for that part of the battle? Aegon falls, and we move on. All right, moving
So
on.
Aegon's down.
Aegon's down.
It's in the trees.
Yep.
All right, we got Rhaenys Melees rejoins the fight. Dragons crash and concussed Cole.
Go ahead, Glenn.
So I think this is the part, but I think
Yeah.
carabiners must have been invented in Westeros because I think this is the part where she uses the carabiner
She
to kind of
hooks in.
strap in and
Walks in.
Man, so many.
There's so many uses
Battle
for the
mode
character.
activated.
Well, I'm also thinking, like, man, she was quick with it too. Just tie herself up. It's interesting. I like
Why would
it.
you not? Like, just, I get it, you're an experienced rider, you feel, but like, wear the
Should you
seatbelt.
always be locked
Wear the
in?
seatbelt, you know?
I feel like, or no, she did clip in, didn't?
She clipped
She clips in.
yeah, she clips in.
After the first battle with Sunfire, she spins around, starts flying back over the coast, and she hooks in. She's like, now I gotta take on Vhagar, and you know.
Yeah, no, she's making a capital C choice when she turns around. Like, she knows I'm probably not making it out of this, but I gotta do everything I can to try.
Yeah, I mean, she's making her big capital C choice. That's a good way of putting it, right? Like, there's no coming back. This is similar to Rhaenyra's. Either I win this or I die. Like, there's no fleeing. I don't want to limp away from this wreck.
One of the greatest things ever. I had some guy drive me one time. He's doing about 7 miles an hour down a side street. And I go to put my seatbelt on. He goes, "Do you really want to live through this if we don't make it?" And I'm like, "Good point." I'm like,
Well, we lost an engine in the plane. How far do you think we'll make it? Right to the scene of the crash.
yeah.
I bet we'll beat the paramedics by 15 minutes.
God damn it, was that,
Ron White.
Ron White.
Okay, yeah, that is, yeah.
Blue collar.
Alright, so my only note is,
Tater.
We're flying half the speed of smell.
It's like a pack of gum.
I hit something hard. I don't want to limp away from this wreck.
So, I did love the battle between these two, Vagar and, Melees.
Medleys.
But Vagar snatching Mel out the air by the talon, and again, this goes back to the House the Dragon build. They basically looked at how falcons and birds will fight, and that's exactly what they do. They'll snatch the leg and start spinning them around just to disorient them. The only thing that Vagar has in addition, he's got the fucking Roy Rogers or Kenny Rogers Roasters fucking furnace just blasting in Melee's face.
And he's got a ball sack chin.
You got the ball sack chin. Keeps all the oil down there, all the fry oil. But Melee's got some scrapes in.
She's a real kicker.
Yeah, she got the Jimmy legs going.
That's how I used to fight as a child. The boys would fight with us, and I'd on the back, with the feet.
I remember.
It's literally what I was like, girl, get it. That's right, do some damage. You might not win, but you're going to hurt them.
Alright, Abby, anything on that?
This is kind of the end of this fight, right?
Got one more part of it.
There's the final.
Yeah, there's the final
down.
blow. Yeah.
Well, never. Yeah, I'll go to the end. Nope, not now.
Okay, then let's go to that part.
All right, next thing.
Yep.
The R&M connection returns for one last dance. Rest in peace, Medleys and the Queen Who Never Was.
Yeah, so I'm going to start on this one, I think. Lost sight of a creature the size of Rhode Island. I know, I'll fly right over the blind spot of the castle and cliff, where is the only place they could be hiding without checking the corner. We've seen it where, like the bolt through Viserys, or the other one, it wasn't Viserys that got bolted, Rhaegar. Check your corners. Maybe don't, go right over the castle. Go a little higher and take your look. I mean, just bad tactics, but understandable.
I get that, but I wonder how good your field of vision is, around your dragon. Because obviously you got a big blind spot underneath you.
And you also the giant.
Yeah, how
Flying a 787.
How much can you see, and how agile is it to?
And that's
from the top. Like, you're not even sitting at the head. Like, you're flying a plane, sitting on
but
top
she was
of it.
flying
pretty low.
Right
she was flying so low that the smoke was bothering her. Like, she was losing sight. So it's like, hey, you know what? Get some air, because you're looking up, look and see where you can find them. Get some air above you before kind of going around. But one slightly negative tactic, but it was still an effective scene. It was just like a trope they've used a bunch of times where it's around the corner.
Yeah, no,
Jump scare.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jump scare.
I agree though. Like, hey, you're in a bit of a proximity game. Like, it's like you're going into a hand-to-hand combat in a really tight quarter with a handgun, where like you're getting, I'm gonna shoot you. Why did I just put the gun within arm's reach? Like, why would you ever? No, like, my benefit is being back here, where you can't just reach me.
Yeah. So, take it, people. Whoever wants to go.
Take it, people.
Take it away, Ern.
Take it away.
I guess I'll say, like, I think she knew she was expandable at this point. Like, it didn't matter if she died or not. Basically, based off the council meeting or whatever, remember that, we can't send Rhaenyra, we can't send Jace because they're too important. And she's like, well, I'll go. And then at the same time, like, she could have retreated at this point and gone back to Dragonstone and regrouped or whatever, and like, hey, I got thwarted at the at Rook's Rest or whatever. Let's regroup. And but I think some people or cultures, they have a different kind of do you retreat? Do you go until you die or whatever? Do you come home with your shield or do you come on your shield?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well said. Jordan.
I like that. Maybe not like. I found it very interesting that she never once says Dracarys. Not once does she say Dracarys. And I don't know if that's because she can't kill her great nephews. I don't know if that's because, hey boys, in a dragon fight, we don't actually burn at each other.
I think
I guess
she told Melees to attack. And
But
so
she
maybe
did.
that's like Melees has
Melees
the
use attack.
authority
And goes.
to fight how Melees sees fit.
Right, and goes. Melees. But she never ever says Dracarys. And I just wonder, in my head, I have my own headcanon, and that's because she wasn't going to, she was taking out the dragons for the betterment of the realm, or their standing.
Yeah, I also think that she's seen the show and she knows that Targaryens are fireproof. So where fire's useless in this fight, the claws are what you need. You need to tear up the wing.
resistant.
No, they're fireproof in this show. They are made of gypsum. They are asbestos men.
How'd that go for Lena?
Yeah, not well.
Well, she was
Thorn.
Yeah, she doesn't.
fair.
See, it works.
Yeah.
No, it's weird to me that they have these really
Yes.
advanced saddles for their dragons, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But they haven't invented something like a parachute to where if your dragon gets taken down, you can.
They got the carabiner.
Yeah.
All I keep thinking in my head
Carabiners but no parachutes?
is it Charlie Chaplin type-esque people, silent movie type-esque people with a trampoline underneath the dragon? As soon as you said you said they haven't invented anything, and they could have at least gotten a towel.
Or those the canopy game thing, one of those.
You're trying to catch the person falling out of the burning building. Yeah.
But I just see Charlie Chaplin underneath in my head. I'm sorry.
See, so we're going with that. In that time, I wouldn't say it'd be a parachute. It'd be a glider. And it'd be made of dead
dragon wing.
Dead dragon wings. Yep.
I was with you. Yeah,
100%. Dragon dies. You can make probably out of Vagar. Hell, you can make probably 30 gliders. Strapped to your back.
And so I kept thinking about it, and I think what I came up with was it's kind of like a captain going down with their ship.
Yeah.
When your dragon dies, you go down with your dragon.
Titanic.
Man, she definitely was in the and I'm free. Free.
Another Harry Potter reference. She met death as a friend.
As an old friend.
It was her choice.
It was her choice. It was just cheesy as shit.
I agree. There was a piece to it. That
Yes.
she had inner peace with her choices,
Which
is what
I agree with. But at the same point, just the arms extended Jesus,
With the
take
arms
the
wide
wheel.
open.
Yes.
Real Creed
I
fan.
appreciate the Creed.
Yeah. I do too. I'm actually, that's a better.
So would Rossi.
Creed over Carrier. We can all agree on that. I was just.
I mean, sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Hey, it's 6 feet.
What is it?
From the
A
edge.
Totoso?
A fucking
Totoso.
Sorry. Yeah.
Totoso.
Pokemon.
A Totoso.
Yeah. Something like that.
All right, and
Rickyism.
now the official final scene.
Cole awakens to see the carnage on the battlefield. Finds Almond at the crash site.
All right, it looks like a very. Abby, go ahead. What's
Everybody's
your thoughts
hands.
on this one? Because
Well, all of my thoughts are just how can I name Cole with C's that are for this scene. And I started with cattywampus, concussed, clobbered, conked, confused, and confounded.
Okay.
That's it. That's all.
Fair.
You may use those in the future. Cattywampus being my number one. It's bolded.
Glenn, go ahead.
Yeah, I think at this point, once Rhaenys and Maylee's went down, I was like, okay, that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, it even blacked out for like.
Started to walk
10
up to go
seconds.
to the bathroom or whatever.
Yeah.
Get another beer or whatever. And then, no.
But when he
Hold your horses.
I just think, like, this would have been
They returned to the Kingdom.
better off the beginning of the next episode.
This would be a
Maybe.
good start to the next episode.
yeah, it was a
It didn't
really
really add
soft
anything.
ending.
Yeah, I thought they kind of bailed this. Like, what they're doing is the classic Game of Thrones. Is he dead?
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
is the dragon alive? Is Aegon alive? You get some interaction between Calamity Cole and Almond, and like, you just know that they're gonna not give you anything, and like you can kind of see like they have facial communication without spoken words, and it's like,
Yeah.
just fuck off, Alan Taylor. God damn it.
So I did see this note after on the post show on Reddit, and I had to steal it. 2 weeks, 2 promotions, 1 dead prince, 1 failed assassination, 1 incapacitated king, 1 incapacitated dragon, and 1 aborted orange. Coldwater Creek has shown little value.
Coldwater Creek.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite book.
And for those of you that don't know, look up St. Louis Coldwater Creek.
That's what I
Real
was.
damn close.
I was just like, did you say Cole or Coldwater Creek? 'Cause,
No,
yeah.
but this was definitely a local joke, but I've been saving it for
That was a good
while.
one.
There we go.
That's way
Damn.
better than
I had a-
Conniption Fit Cole.
I had so many and he won with one.
I know. Trust
Dang,
me.
I tried really hard. I even wrote a song during this
I
time.
even wrote about it in my journal.
It's in my notes app.
Save it for next week.
Benji had a great joke today, and I really laughed about it.
I get 1. I got Wayne's World last week.
Damn, not Anchor Lady.
Alright, so with that said, that wraps up our episode. We're going to talk about the title description, title accuracy. What was it?
Description is, in Rhaenyra's absence, with no word from Daemon at Harrenhal, Rhaenys tries to keep the peace on the Black Council. As Cole mounts a campaign into the Crown Lands in King's Landing, Aemon continues to undermine Aegon's fragile hold on authority.
Yeah, I'd
No?
say it generalized, and sure, those are things that happened.
Those things rough happened.
Alright, what about the episode title? It was the Red Dragon and the Gold. 'Cause they switched it up from what the, I guess, League
Yeah.
Dance of
the
Dragons.
Dance of the Dragons. Which I'm okay with, because we're going to have a few more that maybe,
Oh, spoilers. There's gonna be more dragons in this show? Don't
probably
give
like
it
3
away.
years from now. It took them fucking 6 years to get to Westeros, in Game of Thrones. Where are the dragons? Don't worry, they're coming.
I don't know. They're cruising through stuff. They're
Yeah.
cruising through like the
Yeah.
one chapter that this whole
I
thing
know.
is set on.
I know.
This was all a sentence and a half. Everything that happened in this,
That's
in this
so
episode
crazy.
Yeah.
is not really that much information from the. But
No.
it all makes sense.
Inferred.
Yeah.
But I did like it was the red and the gold dragon, and thinking about it, it is both their sigils too. Like I hadn't really thought about that. It's the
They didn't make a big deal of it. They did start showing the gold
Yeah,
three-headed
on
dragon
on
on
Aegon's
Aegon's stuff
record.
last episode, I believe.
yeah, and a lot of times on the on the armies on
Yeah,
the
And like
greenback.
even the banners and stuff hanging throughout the castle.
Yeah.
But
And
I'm
you know,
feeling
hey,
like a
we
pizza
did
or
not
something.
do this well enough.
Okay.
I would say the question is
I can
open
split
for
pizza
Aegon,
with you if you
but
want.
the question definitely doesn't seem like
Pick
it's
which
open
one.
for Melees and Rhaenys. Two,
Here, I got you.
the Queen Who Never Was, and
England.
the Red Queen.
Thanks,
Melees.
So
That was a good episode title. I think that's a pretty good one because
Yeah.
it gives a lot for Melees.
ambiguous too, because if you don't know it going in, you're like, okay, the red dragon and the gold dragon. They're just
And the big one.
well, no, and they're just talking. Like
Pepperoni or
if you're
something?
watching first time, no backstory, it's just like, okay, they're gonna have a battle, and it's gonna be,
It could
the,
even just be.
It could even just be the sigils.
It could be the sigil.
well, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like a battle between the sigils, like that's gonna be armies maybe or something like.
I'm saying it could just be, hey, we're arguing still. Like it
Yeah.
could just be, hey, this is the head-to-head political fight still. Like,
Yeah,
but it's a more direct. It's a double entendre.
exactly. So, all right, least favorite thing. Who's got something?
I have nothing.
The final scene.
Final. I can see that.
Yeah, I agree.
I really don't have much on it. I didn't hate any of the episode.
I really overall liked this episode. That last scene was the weakest piece, I think. It just it does the grimy foreshadow, or the cliffhanger that you don't really need.
Right.
Yeah.
But I get it.
Yeah, I guess my least favorite would be, and this is a George thing. This isn't even a show. It's sending Melees alone when you have other dragons that can back her up. And that was from source material, so they didn't do anything wrong with it. But just like
top
I don't know, it's
Super wings it.
not politically, logistically, or strategically.
It makes no sense.
Doesn't make sense. Don't.
The strategery was lacking.
Strategery, yeah.
I also am getting really fed up in general. I don't know if it's this episode with like the sword flips in the hands. Like, cool, you can twirl the sword and like. I'm not talking about like over. I'm talking about like just like flip from this side to the side, like and they show it on their hands. Like enough, we get it. It's not that hard.
That was my favorite part, actually.
It's terrible. It's so dumb. Like, it's not dumb. Like, people do that. Like, as they're like adjusting, like they feel for the good grip and the sweat. Yeah, like
when you gotta get to the other side.
But it's the focus in on like, look at this.
I haven't noticed it.
Oh, just keep watching. You're gonna see it. The little jostle in their
I'm
hands.
gonna have something else to be frustrated.
There you go.
Damn it.
I know. All right.
Frustration.
A new
Yay.
fixation.
Favorite thing.
Batting gloves.
Ab.
My favorite thing is basically Rainey's take on everything. When she talks to Corlys and she's like, quit hiding him. She sees the best in everybody. And we're going to jump back an episode real quick here and say, like, when she's like, Otto wouldn't have done that. And she talks about Rhaenyra this episode. She's probably out there trying to, like, last-ditch efforts. Like, she's not, like, a rose-colored glasses type. Like, she's like,
Very
look,
pragmatic.
you have to... I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, like, where it should be without ever being weak. She's amazing. Love her. I hate that she's gone. But those things this episode stood out to me more than the, like, if not me, then who? Or, like, why me, then who? But, she just is a good... It's a big loss. It is a big loss, and it's a big loss specifically for Rhaenyra, somebody having her back. So.
Glenn?
Yeah, I think just the kind of the dragon fights and stuff like that, and I mean, it was cool. It was action-packed.
Very good.
So.
No, and I actually agree that my favorite thing was the dragon battles. First daylight, clear, concise showing of dragon battles and everything. Usually they hide it at night. And,
Or in clouds.
Or in clouds, storms, and all that. It's like, no, this is what it looks like, and it was well done. I think it was just... I don't think they probably could have done it any better. So.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Bailey?
Alicent calling out Aegon and just zero fucks given. This is how you're seen.
I think my favorite thing is what Abby said, is basically Rhaenys all the way through, but I'm going to give a special shout out to Aemond and his and his audible on the field of not just doing what Cole wants him to, because understanding that it's a bigger deal now that Aegon is there, and Vhagar coming out immediately would be an issue.
Yeah.
It would be a very troubling thing for Aegon to deal with, because he doesn't know that Aemond is there. Aegon just thinks he's going to do this. He doesn't know that Vhagar is even there, as far as we know, right? So I feel like that very in the moment, like, snap decision of I need to do nothing option, worth mentioning.
Fair. All right, we'll run through our stuff. Starting with me, I am Ben, Sly Poss McLean. Words are as dangerous to drink alone. House Sigil is 3 black triangles on a red balloon. And my final thought is, good episode. I enjoyed it. Love the dragon battles. Yeah, small logistics, strategic things I disagree with. But at the same point, it's what was written, so they followed it along perfectly. So, probably one of the top episodes of the season so far for me.
Fair.
Abby?
I am Gertie of House Condescension. My words are, we don't quit. My sigil is a field of white with a raven sitting upon a black, up-pointed chevron. My final thoughts are, I really hope at some point that's not going to happen. But my hope is that somebody says, hey, let's kill the dragon riders, not the dragons. But I think that's kind of what we pussyfooted around and just kill the fucking dragon riders.
They're bonded.
Targaryens for posterity. Kill the riders.
Luke.
Yeah, I'm Lucan of House Blackmead. House words are ours is the drink. Obsidian black chalice on a gold and blue checky background. And final thought would be, yeah, really good episode, I think. Pretty much strong throughout. The last scene's a little soft, just kind of unneeded, but not like shot poorly. It's just kind of makes you question some more things that I feel like we just didn't need to like have another couple little feathers to chat about. Like, it's fine, but overall, I'm ready for the next episode that starts in 18 minutes. So,
Bailey.
I am Bailey of House Blend. Our house words are, but first, coffee. Our house sigil is a mermaid on a field of green. And final thoughts, I'm really sad that we're not going to get any more Rainy's wisdom because it was very needed.
Glenn.
I am Glenn of House Dog. You miss 99% of the shots you don't take. Sigil is a dog with a hockey sweater on. Final thought, this is, your run-of-the-mill typical episode where you have, dragons fighting and Rook's Rest is
Resting?
a siege and, and we've seen this so many times, right?
Your typical season 2, episode 4 of House
Right.
of Dragon.
yeah.
No?
I don't have anything to disagree with you there, I'm glad.
All right, and with that, become a patron. Become a patron. Learn more at patreon.com/stayimaginary for all the ways you can help keep our beer bank full. Check out podcastat.com/support us. Look us up on YouTube under Drawbridge Media. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Know and Drink. Send us a digital raven at knowandrink@gmail.com. Subscribe, like, rate, and leave comments on iTunes and YouTube. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. And surprise, surprise, we'll be back tomorrow night to talk about tonight's episode.
What?
So, make sure you're there. We're going to do a quick turnaround because a lot of us are going on vacation for the next couple weeks. So, we're going to get that one knocked out. I hope we see you there. And until next time.
As always, I still don't know, so I'll just drink.
As always, don't turn your back on the wolf pack.
As always, I need more caffeine.
As always, winter's coming and so am I.
As always, thanks for being here, and stay imaginary!
Thank you.